Podcast Network Asia.
First Metrosec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and First Metrosec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of First Metrosec. First Metrosec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
When we start investing, I know we have a lot of questions. Maraming mga tanong na gusto nating may makasagot. Today, First Metro Securities collaborated with Ernest to help us uncover the answers for these common questions. Welcome to the Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast. I'm Manat Pangatungan, Market Educator and Business Development Officer for Visayas at First Metro Securities. Our mission is to equip clients and the general public with essential investment knowledge, empowering you to make informed financial decisions. On the other hand, Ernest is a service by Metrobank. It's an app that makes investing simple for complete beginners. In the app, you'll find easy to understand lessons and investment products that fit different needs and budgets. At Ernest, the main goal is to give aspiring investors the confidence to start investing. As a beginner, you probably have a lot of questions, you don't know where or how to start, and you come across jargon that seems intimidating. We want to solve these problems and tell people, hey, investing is actually not as hard as you think. So today, we'll start by giving simple answers to investing questions that people frequently ask online. Then we'll go into common mistakes that beginners make along with tips on how to avoid them. Finally, we'll talk about the beginner's investor's checklist. These are the essentials you must prepare before you start investing. And we are glad that we are joined by JP Bellonas, First Metro Securities Mindanao Section Head. And for today's discussion, we'll look into Filipinos' most asked investing questions on search engines. So we're going to address 5 of these questions, starting with a very interesting one. Will investing make you rich? What's your take, JP?
Hi, Moneta. That's a very aspirational question. And while investing can potentially build wealth, it's crucial to understand that rich means different things to different people. And it's certainly not going to be a overnight achievement, right? Big returns, those usually require high risk methods or diving into volatile asset classes. And when the risk is high, the potential for big losses is just as high, if not higher than the potential for gains. The most successful investors know the risks, they set realistic expectations, and they commit to thinking long term. Actually, it's thinking about decades, not months. You're using the power of compounding to grow your money over time, and that really takes patience. So while investing is absolutely essential for building financial freedom and substantial wealth, it's actually a marathon, not a sprint. And that's my take on your question, Manette.
I totally agree with you, JP. Investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So we really need to build wealth slowly over time. So thank you for answering that. Let's move on to the second question. When can I start investing?
That's actually a very frequently asked question. When should you start? And actually, this is also one of the biggest misconceptions in personal finance because people often ask, should I start in my 20s, 30s, or when the market is doing X, Y, and Z? But in my experience, the real answer is it's not a matter of time. It's a matter of readiness. You should start investing when you are financially ready. And what does that mean? First and foremost, you need to pay down any high interest debt you have, like credit cards or payday loans. That interest rate is often far higher than anything you could realistically earn from an investment. So tackling that debt should be your priority. Second, you absolutely must have a safety net, which is what we call an emergency fund. This is typically 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in a low risk money market instruments. Personally, I put a third in a savings account, then another third in a time deposit, and invest the remaining in a money market fund. And as you all know, life happens. Your car breaks down, you lose a job, and if you don't have that cash safety net, you'll be forced to sell your investments at a terrible time just to cover a crisis. So readiness is key. Clear the high interest debt, build the emergency fund, and then you are ready to invest.
Totally agree on that, JP. We should be financially ready before we start investing. Paying off debt, having emergency fund, and that's the right time that we start investing. Now let's move on to the third frequently asked question. Can investing be a full-time job?
That's also a very interesting question that we frequently get from our audience and when we conduct seminars. Because when they hear about the investing, they think of that possibility in the future. So to answer your question, Monette, you can actually do it, no? But let's be clear on about what that usually looks like. There are certainly people who trade and invest full time. However, to do this successfully, it generally requires a significant amount of capital, exceptional skill, and deep market knowledge. It's an active, high stakes pursuit, and it often involves day trading or highly speculative strategies. Now, for most individual investors, especially beginners, they start with passive investing. This involves consistently investing a fixed amount of money into a diversified, professionally managed funds. And this is a very well-known strategy called peso cost averaging. And all you need to do is to let those investments grow over the long term without constant intervention. The great news is that passive investing is perfect because it allows investing to complement your other income streams. It's something you can manage for maybe a few hours a year, giving you the benefit of market returns without requiring you to quit your day job. For most people, investing is a tool for long-term wealth creation, not a substitute for consistent earned income. So, to answer the question, yes, but you have to understand the realities before taking on that perspective.
Mhm. Yeah, so you can have really a full-time job in investing, but it requires actively trading. Well, you can also be a part-time in investing, but do passive investing. Now, moving on to the fourth frequently asked question. Can you invest without a financial advisor?
That's also a very interesting question, Moneta. I think many beginners ask this question. And to answer that, yes, you definitely can. We are living in a very fantastic time where technology, like the Earnest app, has made financial education easy to understand. And the accessibility of investment options through the First Metrosec platform has made it very inclusive for Filipinos. Many individuals successfully manage their own portfolios, whether actively by trading stocks and bonds on their own or passively through mutual funds or UITFs. However, just because you can do it yourself doesn't mean you should rule out professional help entirely. An advisor becomes wise to consult when you have complex financial needs. Things like a trust. Maybe you're a high net worth individual, you have a small business, or maybe you have a complex tax situation. These experts provide personalized advice that goes beyond general lessons. Now, for beginners, if you feel overwhelmed or if you simply want a second pair of eyes to validate your plan, consulting a licensed financial professional can be very valuable. Ultimately, the choice depends on your comfort level, the complexity of your finances, and how much time you're willing to dedicate to learning portfolio management. It's a spectrum. You can always move from DIY to consulting an expert as your situation changes. So it's really a matter of understanding your current needs.
So you can definitely invest without a financial advisor, but it's also wise to consult an expert. Agree on that. And on our fifth question, what is the best investment for beginners?
That's also, again, a very frequently asked question, Moneta, especially if people are still not sure of what to do.
Mhm.
But if I could name one investment that was perfect for every single person, I would be a much richer person. The truth is, there is no single best investment that fits everyone. And anyone who tells you otherwise is probably trying to sell you something. Every person has unique needs, preferences, and most importantly, different circumstances. What's right for a 20-year-old saving for a first house is likely not right for a 55-year-old planning to retire the next year. The crucial step is to start with a risk assessment. This helps you understand how much volatility you can handle, both financially and emotionally. Your risk profile combined with your specific investment goals, maybe you're saving for college, investing for retirement, or a down payment, that should always guide your choices. For example, a younger, high risk tolerance investors might favor growth stocks, while an older, more conservative investor might prioritize bonds or dividend paying stocks. The best investment is simply the one that aligns perfectly with your individual risk tolerance and time horizon. That's where apps like Earnest can really help by walking you through that learning process step by step.
So definitely there is no best investment for beginners. And I agree with you that we really need to know what is our risk profile for us to know as well what is the best investment or suitable investment for our current risk profile. So far, we have covered the basic ideas behind investing smartly. But besides knowing what to do, ano din ba ang hindi dapat gawin? So mistakes can be hard to avoid, so for newbies and experts alike. However, knowing the common missteps that can help us set new investors on the right path. So JP, what are some of the mistakes beginner investors make?
That's a very good question. And how I wish I also learned about these things before when I actually started, because I also was a beginner before. I'm still learning even up to this date. There's always something new to learn when it comes to investing. But I think there are very common investment mistakes that beginners actually make, including me when I was still starting out. Like in any other endeavor, beginners tend to make mistakes, but we can definitely learn from the most common ones. Now, let me share to you five common or major pitfalls that I frequently see and I've also experienced. First, investing in something you don't understand. So if you can't explain in simple terms what an investment does or how it can make money for you shouldn't be putting your money into that. So you should stick to what is really clear and transparent to your current understanding. Now, second, investing without a goal. We have to understand that investing is not just about growing money, but it should be a means to an end. It should be a means for you to achieve a specific goal. If you don't know why you're investing, whether it's for retirement, a car, or a tuition for your kids, you cannot determine the appropriate risk level or time horizon for that specific goal. So I see that commonly investing without a goal, wherein their prime purpose is just to grow their money, but it's not really attached to a certain goal. Now, another thing that I see is taking on too much risk, especially when you're starting out. You tend to, or you might be very passionate about investing. So, beginners often chase high returns early on and invest money they might need soon. So, this means when the market drops, they tend to panic and sell even with a significant loss. So, it's part of the journey that you get to feel the emotions when it comes to the highs and lows of the market. Now, beyond that, another thing that I see is similar to the third one, which is taking on too much risk. Because when you do that, you actually are letting emotions take over. And the most common emotion you might feel or experience through the ups and downs of the market is fear and greed. And these two emotions are the enemies of every investor. Investor usually buy high because of FOMO, that's fear of missing out, and selling low because of panic. No? And these are very classic emotional traps wherein those two things will not yield you to more money. It's actually it will yield you to a poor performance. So you have to understand your emotions and you must approach investing logically in order to rule out that emotion. And whatever plan that you have actually thought about to control those emotions, you have to stick to that plan despite your emotions telling you otherwise. And another thing, finally, something I also see in beginners is that putting all of their eggs in one basket. Now, especially if you only have low capital, you tend to put it in just a couple of stocks. You're not really diversified. No? So you have concentration risk there. And again, this is a classic mistake of lacking diversification. So imagine if one company or one sector tanks, your entire portfolio goes with it. So you should consider actually spreading your investment across different assets to manage risk. So that's probably where mutual funds or UITFs come in, because for a low initial investment, like what most beginners have, it's actually already diversified. Okay, so those are the five things that I commonly see. Just to recap, first is investing in something that you don't understand. Second is investing without a goal. Third is taking on too much risk. Fourth, letting emotions take over. And lastly, putting all your eggs in one basket.
Thank you for those 5 things that we should not actually do in our investing journey, JP. Thank you for sharing that. So again, as newbie investors, we should understand what is the investment solution or the investment asset that we are investing in. We should not directly start investing if we don't understand it. And each investment has a specific goal or objective, as what JP has shared. And we must also consider what is the risk exposure that we will be taking. And we should not let our emotions take over during our investing journey. And we should also diversify our investment. So, bringing together all that we have talked about today, we have the beginner investors checklist. So, this includes everything you must prepare before you make your first investment. So, ano ba yung nasa beginner investment or investors checklist mo dyan, JP?
Thank you for that question, Monette. And I hope, again, similar to the common pitfalls I shared a while ago, I hope I had this as well when I was still beginning my journey. So to all our listeners out there, hopefully this will enable you to start your journey better, than most people do. Now, again, if you are an aspiring investor and you're looking for a clear path, this three-step checklist is something I hope you will be considering before your first investment. So first is to achieve good financial standing. We actually touched on this earlier, but it's critical. That means clearing or aggressively paying down high interest debt, setting up a robust emergency fund in cash, and then and only then allotting a specific, consistent amount of money for investments. This is money you can afford to leave in the market for years because investing, especially in equities, tend to have a longer time perspective. So again, that's the first one. You need to have good financial standing. Now, once you have that, you can now move on to the next part of the checklist, which is knowing your investor profile. You need to objectively assess your risk tolerance. Are you a conservative, moderate, or aggressive investor? This isn't just about your age. It's about how you emotionally react to market volatility. And when you do this, you have to be honest with yourself. So you need to know yourself in order to find your perfect investment match. And again, Uh, what may be good for you might not necessarily be good for others or your friends or family. So investing really is personal. So it's not about asking your friends and family what they think are good investment. It's actually you asking yourself what is good for you. Now, after knowing your investor profile, we can now proceed to the third uh, checklist, which is to identify your investing goals and time horizon. So I think I mentioned this a while ago as well. This is where you find your why. Now, why are you investing? Are you investing for retirement in 30 years? That's long term. Or maybe you're saving for a house down payment in 5 years. That's actually in the medium term. And knowing your investment goals dictates your time horizon and how much risk is appropriate for that specific goal. It actually clear things out because as I mentioned kanina, it's not about really just growing your money, not the best way possible, but investing should be a means to an end, a means to achieving your respective financial goals. So if it's for a shorter time horizon, you can consider less risky investments. If you are investing for a longer time horizon goal, you can afford to be more aggressive because again, you have time to weather the volatility of that asset class. Now, that's the third, identify your investing goals and time horizon. So actually, those are just the three simple checklists. I believe I don't want to have a very rigorous checklist because that might be counterproductive. So maybe you can start again with this three. You need to have good financial standing. You need to know your investor profile and you need to identify your investing goals and time horizon. Now, once you have these three steps checked off, you have a solid foundation for your investing journey.
And the checklist actually, JP, is about assessing yourself, right? So thank you so much for this very useful checklist, JP. And before we request a parting words from you, allow me to introduce Earl Banyas, the Product Growth Officer for the Earnest app. He takes the lead in reaching more Filipinos to jumpstart their investing and financial journey through Earnest and Metrobank. So thank you, Earl and Earnest team, for conceptualizing this podcast session.
Hi, Moneth. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. No? Thank you for inviting the Earnest team to be part of this podcast. No? Thanks to First Metro Securities again no, for also initiating this podcast because this is an opportunity for us to reach more Filipinos in providing accurate, accessible, and simple financial education through the Earnest app. No? So we recognize that starting one's investing journey can feel intimidating. There are a lot of terms that are hard to understand. That's why we have designed Earnest app to make it easier for everyone no, to get the information that they need. You know, this is part of Metrobank's promise to be the bank that educates Filipinos. We don't want to just sell to the public. We want to make sure that Filipinos have the tools to make the right decisions, financial and investing decisions. No, that's why education, financial education, is at the core of the Earnest experience. When you download the app, you don't just have bite-sized lesson cards. We also have more in-depth articles. So within the app, within the Earnest app, our users or a regular, an ordinary Filipino can access free in-depth financial articles. No, we have a ton of content to explain investing concepts, define common terms, and even to break down what is happening in the market. So you, the user, can understand how market movements can affect one's investments. In the Earnest app, we try to stay away from using banker or financial jargon. But if we do use a term that might be hard to understand, we always explain what it means because our hope, what Ernest hopes, is that armed with this right and accurate financial knowledge, Filipinos would feel more confident to start investing. That's why when one is ready to invest inside the Earnest app, they can choose among the available Metrobank Unit Investment Trust Funds or UITFs starting at 1,000 pesos. Or there's also an online time deposit accessible through the Earnest app, wherein one can invest without having to go to a bank branch. And it's seamless, it's completely digital. That's why we've also made it easy for our users for them to manage their investments, everything through the Earnest app. They can view the performance of their portfolio, invest in more funds, or top up or redeem an existing fund at any time from anywhere just using the Earnest app. So, Monette, everyone, that's Earnest. It's a financial education and investment platform designed for beginner investors. We want to ensure that more Filipinos have convenient access to accurate financial education and easier ways to jumpstart their investing journey. And one can start today by downloading Earnest. It's for free. The app is available on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. And you can also follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/EarnestPH. Thank you, Monette, and thank you, First Metro Securities.
Thank you for that, Earl. And before we officially end, may I request JP for any parting words for the listeners?
Thank you for that, Moneth. And I'm happy our friends from Earnest have actually shared how Filipinos can access these learning materials through the Earnest app. Now, we've actually covered a lot of ground today, and I hope we've demystified the start of your investing journey. I believe the main takeaway is that building wealth is a process that requires preparation, patience, and perspective. We should avoid chasing the hype, and we should always focus on the fundamentals. And before we invest, we should get our financial house in order. We should also know ourselves, what type of investor we are, and we should commit to long-term focused investing. Now, I also want to share to our listeners today that investing is about making your money work for you so you don't have to work forever. And it's a really good starting point to learn about investing through the Earnest app. So we highly encourage you guys to check that out and download it and learn most of the sessions there. I believe you can learn from it at your own pace. So essentially, to wrap up, I want to leave you guys a powerful quote, which is often attributed to Sir Warren Buffett. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. And I hope that quote will enable us to see investing in a different perspective than what we usually perceive them to be. So I want you guys to prioritize your future self, start small, start smart, and start as early as possible. Thank yourself again, guys, for listening in today's podcast. And I hope you learned a lot. And there's more to learn from the Earnest app. Thank you, Moneth.
Thank you for sharing your insights, JP. And thank you also to Ernest for making this podcast possible. So that's it for today's episode. We're glad you could join us, and we hope you picked up valuable ideas for your investing journey. Don't forget to tune in again for more market updates and learning sessions. This has been the Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast, brought to you by First Metro Securities, where we put your future first.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly Podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups/FirstMetroSec and be part of the First MetroSec family.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.